Good evening, America. Please join me this evening for my endorsement speech of the next President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Please have a seat. I was born in 1965 in a shallow cave in the hills of Dongan in Staten Island, New York, raised by a pack of wild goats. A thin, elderly, skinny man found me while he was on his weekly search for wild mushrooms. He brought me back to his humble home on the edge of the forest and introduced me to his wife and our children and their children, and they became my family. I remember playing in the yard with my siblings and my cousins. Big yard, a lot of land, and there was always a big white pole. And on the top of this pole, there was this beautiful piece of fabric that always caught our attention as it snapped in the wind from the Chinook that came down to the valley. And as an artist, at a young age, everything was visual to me. I soaked everything around, everything, soaked it all up, especially those broad stripes and bright stars, that brilliant red and that royal blue, and those dancing stars. And at dusk and at dawn, as the sun rose and set, was the golden hour. And it created a plethora of other colors on that American flag. It wasn't just red and blue and white anymore. It was many, many colors, as is America. It was made up of many colors. And that's how patriotism and love of country was embedded into my heart and stitched into my soul. Cue the bird. So, many years later, as I traveled into the big city, Manhattan, to find my niche in the art world, I noticed strange things. Birds, they comfort me. Marsupials fear. Scared. I fear them like birds. And I found that the creative people in the art world, who should be the most patriotic, were hating on America, desecrating our American flag, biting the hand that feeds them. And I said to myself, I can't have any part of this. How could it be? And as every artist's dream is to find their calling, that's when I found mine. I don't want to be part of this art world that hates America, that flag is taboo, jingoist. It's like the symbol of Nazism, they said. I couldn't understand it. Yes, we are not a perfect world. This country is not perfect, but that's the beauty of her, is that we strive to be perfect. We are just a young puppy on this world stage, equivalent to a young family. Go ahead, baby. It's okay. Similar to a young family. Don't shit on my tuxedo. There's always bumps in the road, always. But we learn to mill the road and flatten the surface and make things right. And that's when I started my journey, my patriotic mission to cross this great land to every state and paint big, beautiful flags to promote and celebrate what's great about this country. Now, I must be honest, I did not have the brass or the bravery to join the armed forces. So now, not with gun and bayonet, but with paint and brush, that I celebrate, promote, and defend this great country. I can go on and on about me, as most of you know, but enough about me. Let's talk about the man of the hour, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Actually, could you, I think she's gonna lay an egg. That's all right, baby. I'll be back in a minute. Donald J. Trump. Let's talk about the man of the hour, folks. Donald J. Trump. I'll be honest with you. When he first came down that escalator that day, I said to myself, this is an interesting man right here. This is interesting. Now, as a political person and a Republican, there was a big field. And since we were at this pretty desperate time in our country, I was looking for that right candidate to take back America. And it wasn't until June or July when Donald Trump had his first rally. I believe it was in Chicago. And I was just finishing up my 50-state tour, my third one, painting flags around the country. And I saw this rally, and it was canceled. It was shut down. Free speech was shut down. By who? By the same people who preach tolerance and to be open-minded. The extreme far left. Now they shut his speech down. That First Amendment. And outside the arena, it was violent. It got ugly. And at that very moment, I said to myself, self, this is the next president of the United States. And then another journey continued, which was to get this man elected in 2016. And I did everything creatively I could to promote and celebrate and explain and reason why this man should be elected. And I knew he was going to win. Because I just came off a 50-state tour. And who did I spend time with? The American people from all walks of life. The heart of this country. The gears that keep this machine, this sexy machine, rolling and spinning. And I lived off the land, and I lived with these people, and I heard them. Because the media just shows the screamers and the crybabies and the anarchists from these little pockets of this country, which are big cities. There's 9 million here. There's 6 million there. There's 5 million in that city. But there's 400 million people in the middle of this country that were fed up with the regulations, the bureaucracy, and the swamp, the staleness of these do-nothing politicians. That's how we got Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. Because both parties, if you remember, before the election, had it up to here with the establishment. And they wanted somebody new. And that's what we got. And thank God that this guy, this unorthodox politician, not even a politician at all, this eccentric businessman, became the president. And it was good. And who hated, and who still hates to this day, this great man. This man that I know 100 years from now, I will look down from heaven, hopefully, that this man will be the fifth face to grace Mount Rushmore. I give you my word on that. The people that hate him are the people that said he was never going to win. Who are they? All of these talking heads on the mainstream media. CNN, MSNBC. These people are still full of such hatred. No man, no politician in the history of our country has been persecuted as much as this man. And for what? I'll tell you what. Because all the other presidents say nice things. They sound elegant. Fancy words. These big 50-cent words, they're gonna do this and that. And the elegance that comes out of them, it's beautiful. But they don't do an effing thing. They haven't done an effing thing. That's the difference. It's not what a man says or how he says it, but it's what a man does, and you cannot take that away from this man behind me. This man is a doer. I don't have to tell you what he's done because everyone talked about it so beautifully throughout this whole convention. And they hate him, and they hate him, and they hate him because he accomplishes what he sets out to do. So, this beautiful head of locks that I have, I will shave this off should this man not win. And you know how much I love my hair. This man is guaranteed to be the next president of the United States. And I'm just gonna say for one reason, there's many of them, but this one important reason. Look at the other side. They endorse, they promote, they condone the anarchy, the violence, the destruction of businesses, of communities. They condone it. Just look at the videos, the murder, the pillage. It's everywhere. Portland, Seattle, my hometown of New York City. But we're putting a stop to that. That's just another story for another day. And then just take a look at law and order. You vote for anarchy, or you vote for law and order. It's that simple. So without further ado, I officially endorse Donald J. Trump to be the next president of the great United States of America. Cheers and good night.